Well, hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. I'm Pete Connor, your show's host on this Monday, May 8th of 2017. We've got a couple of in-studio guests today. We have Ryan Gillespie and Jason Eyberg from one of our sponsors, Bremer Bank. And then we will go on location with our newest sponsor for Owatonna Today, Turtle Creek Nursery and Landscaping. And as a reminder, we would appreciate any input that you would have for guests to be on our show, those people perhaps who would deserve some recognition for some things that they're doing in the community, or for an event that would also deserve some recognition or some publicity. Please let us know if you have any ideas about that. You can contact us at owatonnatoday@charter.net, or you can contact our show's producer, Leanne T, at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Ryan and Jason. Please stay tuned.
Hi, this is Nick Poehler from Turtle Creek Nursery and Landscaping. Come see our wide variety of plants. Proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent of the Brooktree Golf Course. Brooktree is an 18-hole championship golf course featuring well-manicured greens, tees, and fairways. We are open to the public. I challenge you to find a better maintained golf course for the money we charge here at Brooktree. Come on out and play Brooktree, a great golf course.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and welcome also to Jason and Ryan, our guests from Bremer Bank.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Hope things are going well for you guys. We're going to find out a little bit more about Bremer Bank, some updates, I guess, from maybe the last time that you were here, and things that I found out about Bremer that I didn't know, although I've known of Bremer for quite a long time, the history of Otto Bremer and all the rest of that, but a couple of things that we're going to want to get to would be, some of that in terms of Bremer's position, its philosophy, let's say, in our community. Mm-hmm. And then as well, we want to talk something about housing and mortgages and things of that nature as well. So let's first talk about Otto Bremer briefly in terms of his philosophy and his vision, if you will, for establishing the financial institution that he has.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Pete. The Otto Bremer Trust was really a result of Otto Bremer's vision in the early 40s and shoring up banks and investments in the Depression era. And as we came out of the Depression and those investments started to flourish a bit and he became of retirement age, the trust was formed to essentially be the owner of the bank. And it's something we're very proud of today. The Otto Bremer Trust owns 92% of the bank. The employees are the remaining ownership, and so the trust really is its own entity, is a nonprofit. But the bank, being a for-profit tax-paying entity, is its sole holding and ownership, business ownership. Sure. So the goal of the trust is really for us as a bank to provide profit and dividends to the trust, which then the trust goes back to the communities where Bremer does business, Bremer Bank does business, and looks to give grants to nonprofits in those communities. So we're certainly proud of our ownership of the Otto Bremer Trust, and with the employees. We also, as a bank, try to do as many sponsorships and become volunteers and good stewards in our community. We are agency sponsors with the Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're involved with United Way, a number of nonprofits as a bank, Junior Achievement, Habitat for Humanity. I could go on and on. It's fun to talk about, but we really as a bank and as employees of the bank in a community. We really try to be involved as much as we can and volunteer and also as a bank provide sponsorships to organizations when we can.
Good. The bank, most people knows where the bank is in terms of its location. And sometimes you put a structure up and it seems like it's been there forever. But Bremer is not here all that long. Owatonna.
Yeah, we're approaching, I believe this fall will be 5 years already in the building up on Bridge Street. And so we're certainly proud of that. And it's been a fun, quick 5 years,
Sure.
but a good and successful 5 years, and we're happy to be in the Owatonna community.
Nice looking building. Been inside. It's well done. You know, it's pleasing, very pleasant. Ryan, to the point. You know, we have a benevolent organization, obviously, that needs to have some resources, and it sounds to me like you're kind of involved on that resource end, given your work with mortgages, with housing and other construction, I suspect. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, I've been with Bremer in Owatonna here for just over 3 years now as the mortgage loan officer. And so I get to help folks with purchase mortgages or refinance or construction loans as well.
Okay, now when we say folks, are we talking about principally residential customers, or do you do some commercial lending as well?
I do only residential.
Residential. Okay, then in a broader focus, does the bank also include, if I were wanting to put up a shop of some sort, would you talk with me about some financing?
Then I'd send you back to Jason.
I do. I handle commercial lending as well. Yeah.
Well, let's stay with you.
But we work together well in that.
Yeah, right. That's good. But let's stay with the residential part of it then. How are things in your world, if you will, of residential mortgage or residential lending? How do you see things happening now in kind of early 2017?
It's steady and picking up. This gets to be a busier time of year just organically with, you know, the weather getting nicer and people more apt to be out looking for homes or interested in listing. The one primary challenge, and it's not just local to Owatonna right now, is a lack of homes for sale. Folks that are selling, their homes are selling quickly, but they need to have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And that's then also where construction is going to start playing a bigger role in housing as well.
There's always a lag, isn't there? I mean, you can see coming up something's going to happen, but if you try to tell a builder that it's going to happen, he'll accept that. But homes aren't built overnight. You know, properties, you know, all of the process that has to, you know, have to go through regulatory things with the city as an example. So you can see what's forthcoming, but to meet that takes time.
It does. It does. And it's certainly a strong market, but that is one of the challenges. Rates are slightly higher than they were last year, but certainly still historically low. So there's no reason that they're, you know, people need a place to live, and people are pre-approved and ready to go.
Sure. But you know, and there's some pressure here. I think that you know, I guess it might be an example of so-called older American living in a home now for almost 50 years. You know, institutionally, people want us to stay in our homes, but also we have a home that could be a very nice starter home for one of a younger family, let's say. So there's this kind of a little bit of pressure that you know, maybe those homes aren't being released as quickly as they might have been.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that is true. I think with the baby boomer generation, I think in the next 10 years, things might shift and change a little bit. Of course, then you have the echo boomer generation that is an even bigger generation, and that's where some of those housing demands are going to be very strong.
Right. Okay, good. So if we talk about the housing side, the residential side, now we talk about the commercial. Beyond commercial, any so-called industrial lending that you folks do as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're certainly focused on community banking, and commercial and ag is a significant part of that. We are actually the 12th largest ag lender in the country, believe it or not. Our footprint being North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, one could kind of see ag country, but you know, so certainly ag and commercial banking, business banking are big focuses of ours as a bank.
Okay, and that would be principally to allow, you know, large farmers, small farmers, let's say family farmers, to come in. They need new equipment. You're going to help with those kinds of needs.
Yeah, absolutely. All the above. We work with families, a lot of family farming operations. We're working with new farming operations, you know, existing in the area. You know, on the commercial side, to your point, the industrial manufacturing and you know, and business banking in general here in the community and surrounding area as well.
There's been quite a lot of talk, of course, recently on the federal level and the national level about regulation, and about that perhaps there's a movement more to deregulate certain industries, certain kinds of factors that are with us. How do you see regulation working either for and or against what you folks do in your with mortgage lending and the like?
Sure. Regulation is something that's just is going to always be there, and so we've taken the approach. We did cross the $10 billion threshold in terms of asset size, and that is a number in our industry, 10 to 50 billion, where you are regulated a little bit different, a little bit more than smaller than a $10 billion threshold. So we certainly have new challenges and new opportunities for regulation to make an impact on our organization. But at the same time, we've really taken the approach that that's something we can't control, and that's something that's going to be there and something that we'll take and handle as we grow. But what we would like to do is just make sure we're still focusing on our core principle of community banking and local relationship management, local decision making, and we feel that that's if we handle that and we do that well, then we'll obviously take care of regulation, but our growth will happen if we focus on our community banking principle.
Good. So you're here, and obviously the other side of that is that you've got now some money. You're going to give that money away, and to whom are the recipients of, and I don't mean necessarily in name of organization, but of what kinds of organizations are going to be recipients of the funds coming from the trust, Ryan?
And I would let Jason speak to that a little bit.
Because you haven't spoken so much about it, because
sure.
He's doing all the talking.
That's all right.
The trust has an application process, and then quarterly, they have program officers that are working with local nonprofits, and out of Bremer Trust, obt.org is out there for anyone nonprofits to go out and seek funds and request funds, and they do a nice job of laying out previous grant applicants and those that have received grants, and so you can kind of see maybe areas where those grants have been made and if their organization might be a fit.
Sure. As the board chair of Hospitality House, I'm very familiar. We've been a fortunate recipient of a grant, and currently are awaiting word on a second one that we've applied for, and have had a chance to deal with a couple of those folks, the representatives that deal with that. So very nice, very cordial, but you got to be sharp. You can't just, we're not going in with a bucket full of empty bucket and kind of walk out with a bucket full of money. So, I think we're certainly, we need to affirm that we're very fortunate to have you in our community. And I think for all of us, either who are directly involved with you or perhaps will be, to know that you're here is really important. So thank you. Thanks for being here in town, and thanks for being here in this place right now for this visit, and look forward to having you back again.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank
Pete.
you.
Thank you. And we'll thank you for being with us as well. We're going to take some time for some messages from our sponsors, so please do stay with us.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gillespie with Bremer Bank Mortgage. By trusting your home loan needs to Bremer Bank, you are guaranteed a personalized, straightforward, and honest experience from application to closing. We look forward to guiding you through your next home purchase or refinance.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Since 1988, the Owatonna Area Business Development Center has been the part of the success of many area businesses. The center leases office space and manufacturing space and offers on-site business consulting. The Owatonna Area Business Development Center is in business to help your business be a success.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We are here amidst a cornucopia of color with Nick Poehler. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And as you can tell, we are out here at Turtle Creek Nursery. And finally, spring is here.
It is here. We have oodles of color out here, so people need to come and see it. It's going to make them feel incredible.
Oh, wow. And we are out here in the greenhouse that has all of your annual plants. And I'm just going to do a little bit of panning here. Nick, tell us about this. What types of plants do you have, and where can they be planted?
Well, we've got a wide variety of annuals in the greenhouse here now. I mean, we are stocked full. We've got everything for your sunny garden to your shady gardens. So if you come on out, we probably are going to have the textures, the colors, and whatever you're looking for.
That I know, it's really hard to choose. It really is.
It can be. That's why we're here to help. Our experts can definitely help you in what you're looking for, in your size of your areas. If you have certain pots that you need potted up, we're here to help you do them.
Okay, and they would be able to give you great advice on what's for shade, what's for sun, and if you have a mixture of sunlight for a couple hours a day and then shade, there's plants that will suit that area as well.
We've got a wide variety for every area that you need, and if you get confused, just stop and talk to us, and we're here to help you make the decisions and make you feel good and make you really enjoy what you're doing.
Okay. And now what I didn't realize, Nick, you were telling me a number of these plants you actually start from seed yourself.
We do a lot of our own growing in our back greenhouse with our annuals, and our perennials will start back there. We'll get them in small cell packs, and then we'll start them up and then start growing them back in March, and then we'll start to get them ready to come out to our main greenhouse.
Okay, all right, that's really wonderful. It's nice to know that there's some locally grown plants as well. But the ones that you do purchase, though, are very high quality as well.
We get the top quality plants that we get in, and we're extremely do our research in trying to find the best stuff for our local customers.
Okay, all right, and then we do have fairy gardens here for the smaller ones in your family who can actually do their own gardening. I'm here on this really wonderful flexible flyer fairy garden here.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, a fairy garden is also called a miniature garden. There's different ways to interpret it. So we do a lot of different things with the fairy gardens. As you see, the wagon. There's many different types of pots and bowls, and it's being creative in doing what fits for you and what people like. So there's no wrong way to do it. It's just in what you like. And we have such a wide variety of succulents and the little accessories that you put in with your gardens. So it's real fun for young kids, boys and girls, and adults.
It's a great parent-child or grandparent-grandchild activity to do together.
It really is. It really brings people together, and we will have classes that will be coming up too, so people we can teach them how to pot up their own pots and do it right here and use the accessories that we've got available, and they really enjoy it. A lot of mothers and daughters, mothers and sons, because we even got the new little accessories like the dinosaurs and different things like that. So there's some real fun stuff.
You can put together a little dinosaur garden. Yeah. Your own Jurassic Park.
There you go.
Okay. Well, talking about putting together containers, some of us are unsure as to what the do's and the don'ts are of that. You've got a little demonstration for us. Why don't we go switch gears and take a look at that?
Sounds good.
Nick, we've come out here to your back greenhouse, and you have some plants and a pot set up for a demonstration. Tell us, what's the best way to plant a multi-plant container?
Well, the best thing to do is first, you decide what size pot you actually are looking for, and that's the most important thing. And then determining on what colors and plants that you are actually looking for. If you're not sure about that, then just ask us, and we'll usually ask you, do you have sun or do you have shade?
Okay.
And so that's the most important things, and once we know that, we can start narrowing it down. Okay, what colors do you like? And then we'll go from there, and then start to figure out, do you want anything trailing, upright, or do you want a combination from that? And then that really narrows it down. So then we can start figuring out what people like, and then we can start to say, well, this will work for you, or if you want us to plant it, then we can. Or if you want to do it, here's the plants that will work for that.
Right, if you really like to get your hands in there.
Yeah, right.
So go ahead, step by step. How do we do this?
Well, the first thing is, of course, you got a pot. This one here, you're looking at a nice size pot, but people have all different types of ranges of pot. And then what we'll do is we'll use our ultimate potting mix. That's our fertile mix, and we use that on all of our growing. So we use it on our annuals and our perennials. So we do sell that at the store.
Okay.
So then what we'll do is we'll just fill, basically real simple, just filling up this pot, and I like to get it approximately about ½ inch to an inch about right below the top rim there. You don't want it to be over full. And I'll kind of leave it kind of fluffy in there, because we're going to end up taking a little bit of that soil back out, because the plants are going to have their own soil, and they're going to disperse the space in there.
Okay.
So basically I'll get it something similar to that.
Okay.
And then usually what I like to do is start with the middle and then work my way around.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. It's just something I do to keep the plant centered in the pot. So like this one here, this is an ornamental grass. It's a soft rush. I'm going to use that as a focal point middle plant that can kind of rise above the other annuals. So what I'll do is I'll take a handful of my soil out. I'll scratch up the root ball a little if it's really rough. Sometimes they're not. And then I'll slowly put this in, planting it at the soil level that it is right now, and then gradually just not even tuck it in too much, because I'm going to do a little more of that when I start getting the other plants in.
Sure.
So I look at that and say, yep, that's pretty centered. And then I'll go and continue. I'll take the tags out of the pots. I'll usually squeeze the sides of them, and you'll see if you got a nice, lush, almost a white root system, you got a good root system there. And I'll take my fingers. If you don't want to do that, you could take a little tool and stuff and rough them up. I just use my fingers.
Why do you rough them up?
Well, what it does is it helps stimulate the roots to take off and grow faster, because if they stay in that root ball, they're not going to take off. They'll eventually find their way out into the new soil, but it just kind of speeds up the process, and it's just something that we've done for years, and it seems to work well.
You want those plants to get rooted quickly in the pot.
Right. So I'll scoop up another little piece of soil here, and then I may use a little more soil that's down here and tuck it in, and then I'll continue the process where I come around, taking the tags out, do the pinching, just rough them up. This one's going to be centered directly across from it, so it's going to look real balanced when it's done. And then what I'll do is I'll take so I want some trailers. So this white bacopa is going to be a nice contrast with the purple in here. So I'm going to set that one down on the side here.
Close to the side as possible, so it
pretty much centered between the two between this plant and the edge.
It trails out.
Yep, and it'll find its way out.
Side.
So then what I'm going to do, some people just want one on one side, but I'm going to do it as a balance. So I'm going to take another one and I'm going to place it on the other side. So I'm going to tuck that down and fit it in like that. And then I thought, I could use a little red in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and what I did over here, as you can see, I offset this one so I can balance the two reds between them, so they it looks more balanced that way. And when they fill out, it's really gonna look very natural looking and look really stunning.
Wow.
So then I'll put that one there, and then I got enough space over here to do one more. And this is a super bells. That's what this is, and it's a really nice plant that's going to take the sun. So this is more of a sun pot here. And what I'll do here is I'll kind of tap the sides, and I'll kind of look in and say, yep, I can take a little of that soil out, around the edges, just to kind of level it out.
Okay.
So I kind of tap it a little bit. They're nice and snug in there, and then I'm going to look at it and say, a lot of people like to they forget what kind of pots they put in, so you can just set those and stick them on the side, stick them down nice and deep, and then I'll say, well, we're going to do a little Osmocote, and this is a time-release fertilizer.
I love that stuff.
And what we'll do is I'll take probably about a teaspoon or so, depending on the size of the pot, and it does tell on them. And it's just a little granular stuff. I'll sprinkle that around inside here. Try to keep it off the leaves because it could burn, so just keep it off the leaves and then get it down, and then that'll slowly release the fertilizer. It's not going to fertilize right away.
Water, right?
It's going to slowly release every time you water.
Right.
So that's going to do that for you. But this Jack's All-Purpose fertilizer is the kind that you're going to use once a week. So every 7 to 14 days, usually 7 days. This is a 20-20-20, so it's a real even fertilizer, so it's going to work very well. And this one, you just put it in with your water. So what's nice about this is 1 tablespoon per gallon of water, and then you can just pour it on real slow around there, and every week you can fertilize with this. And this Jack's is really a nice one. We really like this. So that would be what I'd use. So some people forget they don't do the Osmocote, but it's a good thing, because if you do forget one of the weeks, you might forget to do it. You always got your backup already in there for you, and it's not going to over fertilize it. Then I'd slowly water this in so the soil settles, and then you're ready to enjoy it.
All right. Well, you know what? We are out of time. Okay. But we want to also make mention that you have perennials.
Yes.
You have trees. You have flowering shrubs. You have shrubs. You have everything here.
We have everything. We have pottery. We have all your vegetables. I mean, we have tons of veggies. So we have a house just suited just for the vegetables. So
you have to come out and see. Yeah.
Yes.
What are your hours of operation now?
We're open from 9 to 7 on weekdays, and we're open every Saturday and Sunday. We're open every day except the 4th of July.
Our 4th of July. Okay. All right. Well, Nick, thank you so much. People, get out here. It is time to plant that garden and bring some color and life back to your yard.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Nick. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it too.
And please stay with us. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Cedar Valley Services, located at the corner of Rose and Grove in Owatonna, provides an array of services for people with disabilities in Steele County. CVS thanks the entire community, especially our business customers, for supporting us in Owatonna for 43 years. Thank you from CVS.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Thanks for staying with us. We've got some community announcements to share with you at this time. The Nancy Schroet Memorial Scholarship applications are now available at the Owatonna Senior High School Career Center, or can be obtained by contacting Gina Westberg at 507-451-4207. $500 each will be presented to a senior fast-pitch softball player and to a senior band member. Submit applications to the Owatonna Senior High School Career Center by Friday, May 12th. And that will take care of it for today. We're going to have hopefully you back on Wednesday when we will have with us 2 on-location segments. We're going to have the retrofit companies to talk about the upcoming recycling collection day. And then we're also going to have an on-site visit with the newest family from Habitat for Humanity. So we hope we'll be back for that on Wednesday. And thanks so much for staying with us.